Что ты читаешь? Магазин. If you don't want to talk like that in Russian, watch this video to learn more about false friends in Russian and how to use them correctly. Hey, what's up? Christina here from Boost Your Russian, bringing you the best tips and tools for learning Russian online. If you are watching this video, you probably already know what false friend means. But just in case you don't, these are words in two languages that look and sometimes sound similar, but mean totally different things. So you cannot take one of these words from one language and use it in another language in the same situation and expect it to make sense. Have you ever said something in Russian and got a puzzled look in return? Like, what? I know it has happened to me in English and in Spanish many times. It still happens sometimes. You think you know what a word means because it looks so similar to one of the words in your native language. You use it in a conversation, and then there is the awkward pause. And that is how you know that you just found another false friend. Before we start, let me know in the comments which false friends in Russian you already know. Some of them are very common, and I'm sure you have already heard of them. Write down below those that you have heard before. Make sure you watch this video until the end, because I will tell you where you can download for free a PDF with 50 more false friends in Russian that haven't been covered in this video, with examples of how to use them in a sentence. And here is my list of top 10 Russian false friends that my students always confuse. Let's start. The first word is magazin. I think that this one is the most well-known false friend in Russian. Magazin doesn't mean a magazine, even though both of these words look and sound pretty similar. Magazin means a shop. Я иду в магазин. I am going to the shop. Я купил хлеб в магазине. I bought some bread at the shop. And magazine in Russian is журнал. Журнал моды, a fashion magazine. So magazine is a shop, a magazine is журнал. It sounds easy, but it's still confusing. It's also confusing for us native Russian speakers. I cannot tell you how many times people asked me, "Where are you going?" And I said, "To the magazine." And a few times I asked my students, "Что ты читаешь?" What are you reading? And they said, "Magazine," a shop. You see, it's confusing for you, foreigners, when you learn Russian, for us, Russians, when we learn English, so for everybody. Let me know in the comments if you find this pair of false friends confusing, like I do. Write "da" in the comments if you've ever confused Russian magazine and English magazine. Another common Russian false friend is the word Familia. What is your gut reaction about what this word means? Probably a family, right? Wrong! Familia means a last name. For example, какая у тебя красивая фамилия? What a beautiful last name you have. Как ваша фамилия? What is your last name? And a family in Russian is семья. Моя семья живет в России. My family lives in Russia. So, familia is a last name and a family is семья. Again, this one is a very common false friend. I've made this mistake many times. Number 3 is clay. Clay sounds very similar to the English clay, but it's not. Clay means glue. У тебя есть клей? Мне нужно приклеить что-то. Do you have glue? I need to glue something. Or, странно, тут пахнет клеем. Strange, it smells like glue here. And clay in Russian is глина. For example, белая глина or дом из глины. So clay is glue and clay is глина. The next one is актуальный. Актуальный sounds a lot like English actually. But actually, the Russian word актуальный means current, relevant, topical. For example, you can say актуальные новости, current news, актуальная тема, relevant topic, or актуальное предложение, relevant offer. On the other hand, actually in Russian is на самом деле. In regular conversation, you could say на самом деле я не голоден. Actually, I'm not hungry. Or на самом деле мне 20. Actually, I'm 20 years old. So, актуальный is current, relevant. Actually is на самом деле. The next one is smoking. The Russian word smoking sounds exactly the same as the English word smoking, but they couldn't be less similar in meaning. So Russian smoking means a tuxedo. For example, все мужчины были в смокингах. All men were wearing tuxedos. Or мой муж купил себе белый смокинг. My husband bought a white tuxedo. And English smoking is курение in Russian. Курение запрещено в общественных местах. Smoking is prohibited in public places. So, smoking is a tuxedo. Smoking is курение. Курение. Halfway there. If you learned something new from this video, give me a like. And I'm going to show you 5 more false friends in just a second. Before we continue, just to be clear, this is not the whole list of Russian false friends in English. There are lots and lots of them, and I couldn't possibly cover them all in this short video. If you want to get a handy printable PDF cheat sheet with a list of my top 50 false friends in Russian that I made for you, go to the link. I will leave the link in the description. It's totally free. Just leave your email address and I will send it to you immediately. This way, you'll have a much bigger list of false friends that always confuse Russian learners with their English translations and examples of how you actually have to use them in a conversation. The next one is Physic. Physic. This one looks so easy. It has to mean physic in English, right? Well, it doesn't. Physic means a physicist, a scientist who specializes in physics. For example, you could say, Моя мама – физик. Моя мама, my mother is a physicist. Or Newton – это знаменитый английский физик. Newton was a famous British physicist. And the English word physique, which is the appearance of the body, in Russian is телосложение, where тело is body and сложение is complexion. So literally the word means a complexion of a body. Телосложение. So Physic is a physicist and Physic is телосложение. The next one is multiplicaция. This one looks obvious, right? How can it not mean multiplication? Multiplication. Well, surprise, it doesn't. Multiplicaция means animation or cartoon. Though in casual conversation, it's not common to say multiplicaция because the word is so long and clumsy. Instead, we normally say мультфильм или мультик. For example, мультипликация – мультик для детей, a cartoon for kids. On the other hand, multiplication is умножение in Russian. Умножение. For example, таблица умножения, the multiplication table. So, мультипликация is a cartoon, an animation, and multiplication is умножение. Now the word list. List. Let's look at this very simple short word. List, even though it sounds like the English word list, a series of items, in Russian means a leaf. You could say на дереве зеленые листья. There are green leaves on the tree. And the English list is список in Russian. For example, я люблю делать списки дел. I love making to-do lists. Or сделай мне список того, что надо купить. Make me a list of things that I need to buy. So, list is a leaf and list is список. Okay, the next word. This one is very confusing because it looks similar to the English word intelligent, right? In Russian, интеллигентный. Интеллигентный. Unfortunately, Russian интеллигентный and English intelligent don't mean the same. Let's see. The Russian word интеллигентный means educated, when someone has had a good education and doesn't say or do stupid things in public. For example, он очень интеллигентный человек. He is a very educated man. Or у моей жены очень интеллигентная семья. My wife's family is a very well educated. On the other hand, the English word intelligent in Russian is умный. Ты такой умный человек. You are such an intelligent person. Or собаки умные. Dogs are intelligent. So someone can be интеллигентный, educated, and not умный, intelligent. Or they can be умный, intelligent, and not интеллигентный, educated. Does it make sense? If it doesn't, just pause for a minute and listen to this piece again. Finally, the word fabrica. Fabrica. This one looks very similar to English fabric, but has nothing in common in meaning. Russian fabrica is a factory. For example, fabrika машин, a car factory, or промышленная фабрика, an industrial factory. But English fabric, a piece of cloth, in Russian is ткань. For example, мягкая ткань, прочная ткань, фабрика тканей. So, fabrica is a factory and fabric is ткань. And this was my top 10 list of false friends in Russian. They're tricky. It will take time to learn them and learn how to use them, so that's okay. Make mistakes, get the feel for how to use these words in practice, and if you want to learn other false friends in Russian, and there are so many of them, there is a link in the description where you can download a PDF I made for you with a huge list of false friends. Just click on the link in the description, leave your email address, and I will send the PDF to you immediately. Now, here is your homework. Write in the comments the most confusing Russian false friend for you. It can be one that I have covered in the video, or a totally different false friend that you learned somewhere else. Also, write a sentence using that false friend correctly. I will check every single comment and correct you if needed. If you want to watch more videos like this in the future, subscribe to my channel and get a lot more useful videos about the beautiful but so difficult Russian language. And remember, together we'll boost your Russian!